Yo, what's good? It's a boy Views, and heavy spoilers for season 1 of Dragon Ball Z, you have been warned. So at long last, I finally checked out this series, after completing the original series. Before I talk about the Raditz and Vegeta sagas in this first season, just wanted to let you guys know that I watched the original Z and not Kai. I saw an episode or two of Kai, and when comparing those two episodes, I noticed that the version I watched for Kai had censorship. I wasn't a huge fan of Bulma's new voice actress in the Kai version, and Gohan sounded just like Monkey D. Luffy from the dub, so that was awfully distracting. As well as that, the music isn't the same as the original Japanese score, and I know Kai cuts out all the fillers and just gets to the action, but I'm not gonna lie, I kinda like the fillers. It fleshes the characters out a little bit more, and it doesn't feel rushed. Maybe in the future I'll check out Kai, but for now, I think Original Z is more than enough for me. With that out of the way, let's talk about the first saga, the Raditz saga, and talk about what I liked. I mean, right off the bat, right in episode 1, we are literally thrown into this whole new adventure. I actually got spoiled on the fact that Goku is an alien, and when I found out that spoiler, I was pretty damn shocked. I couldn't believe it. It was a huge reveal, but to actually find out in the show that not only is Goku from the same world as these bad guys, but he was also sent on a mission to destroy the entire world was an honestly mind-boggling reveal for me. It completely changed the story and it made it a little bit darker. We see in a brief flashback told by Master Roshi that when Gohan found Goku, he was a pretty nutty kid. He was very violent, very angry, but the moment he bashed his head, he became the Goku we all know and loved. It just got me wondering, if Goku never bashed his head, how different would the show have been? Goku would have grown up and been the villain that Master Roshi and his school of students would have gone out to destroy. But regardless, I really liked all this information. It honestly makes sense considering how insanely powerful Goku is for an average human being. But another surprise I wasn't expecting was the team up of Goku and Piccolo. The way the original series left off before the wedding dress filler arc made it seem like Piccolo was going to plan something evil and he was going to fight Goku once again. So I was going into this arc thinking that Goku was going to battle Piccolo again, but seeing this team up really surprised me. It really made me realize that Piccolo, despite his power, his arrogance, knows when he's beat. He saw that these Saiyans are pretty tough and he can't defeat them on his own. And while we're on the topic of Piccolo, let's just jump straight into the next saga, the Vegeta saga, which is also the second half of this season 1, and talk about the dynamic between Piccolo and Gohan. I love the contrast between Gohan, this cute, sweet, innocent little boy who's really soft and always crying, and then you have Piccolo, who's this ruthless, cold killer who just wants to take over the world, and they are sensei and student. It's such an interesting dynamic that I wasn't expecting. But Piccolo leaves Gohan on his own, but still keeping a watch out for him, making Gohan think that Piccolo left him. I won't lie, I felt bad for little Gohan in those early episodes where he was just struggling and running around, trying to at least find a friend. One of my favorite little Gohan episode adventures was the episode where he meets this robot, and the entire episode is really sweet and adorable. You actually care for this robot when it doesn't make it out alive in the end, giving Gohan that encouragement he needs to keep moving forward. I know the robot episode and the Band of Orphans episodes are pretty much fillers, but they were some of my favorite episodes. But man, the final fight when they're all battling Vegeta, Gohan freaks out, despite all the training and all the growth he went through and how Piccolo started to acknowledge him more and more. But this time, it actually makes sense for someone like Gohan to freak out. A 6-year-old seeing so many characters die left, right and center. As a little 6-year-old boy, I mean, that's gonna freak him out. It's like what Krillin said, it's a miracle that Gohan is even standing there with them. But Piccolo just being so frustrated and disappointed with Gohan that he couldn't do what he had to do. Piccolo, out of everyone in that group, had the most faith in Gohan because of the potential he sees in him, and Gohan doesn't run away. He stands his ground. He wants to face these guys with his newfound friends. And you see that not only is Piccolo proud proud of him, but he also sees him as his newfound friend, almost like the son he never had. It was a heartfelt moment seeing Piccolo sacrificing himself for Gohan, because if the Saiyans never arrived, Piccolo would be the one to fight Goku and his friends, not risking his own life to protect Goku's son. Huge 180 from Piccolo. The bond Piccolo and Gohan had reminded me a lot of Kenta and Ryuga from Metal Fury. I wonder if Beyblade was inspired by this arc. But despite Gohan having a more or less major role in this saga, Goku is still the main character, and I kinda like how, despite Gohan being the quote-unquote new generation character, he doesn't overcast Goku. In fact, despite Goku being a full-grown adult, he still has training to do. But despite him having a lot of lessons to learn, I like how much he's grown from the previous show. He's now a father and a husband and has to look after his family. He still has his goofy moments, but he's a lot more wise and mature. Can't help but feel really impressed by how far Goku has come. I like the design of the area he has to train in, that otherworld planet. The colors and designs just leap from the screen. I love it. And again, I like the fillers in this arc. It establishes and widens this Dragon Ball world, and I do like some of the music tracks they played in this world. It had a 70s, 80s funk to it, with the neon colors and the funky music in the background. Moving on from that, I want to talk about Yajirobe. Yajirobe doesn't want to get involved when the Saiyans come. I mean, he comes off as this tough man, but he's a bit of a coward. He's really scared. He fears for his life. He runs away every time they're attacking, but seeing how his friends are risking their lives just to do what needs to be done, he has to man up and do what needs to be done. And I like how he was the one who took out the Vegeta's tail. But Yajirobe's cowardness really does come back to bite him in the butt, as when we come to the end of this saga, when Bulma is absolutely in bits over Yamcha, Yajirobe is like, well, I'm still here, hello? And that obviously irritates Bulma, and she starts heckling him over and over again. But I think she went a bit too far with her saying that she wished that Yajirobe was dead instead of Yamcha. Damn son, watching that scene, that was a bit hard to watch. I liked how things got serious towards the end of this saga when the fight was over, and tensions were all over the place. Even Chi-Chi was not impressed with Goku winning. I mean, the dude was barely able to walk, but she was fussing over Gohan, who was pretty okay. But she's mad at him for not looking out for Gohan, despite Gohan needing this training. I'll talk about Chi-Chi later on. But I like how the characters are now realizing that they can't use the Dragon Balls to bring back their fallen comrades. They have already used them on them once before, and they can't do that again, and the Dragon Balls are now gone, with Kami and Piccolo being destroyed. It brings the show back down to earth, and it makes it more grounded and a bit realistic. You can't always save everyone. I like how this show got really serious towards the end. They did win, but Vegeta left because Goku didn't want to kill him. It was such an impactful, really intense moments. Krillin was going to absolutely take him out with the sword, but Goku, being this man of peace, was like, hey, we let Piccolo live, and look what he became. He was able to train Gohan and sacrifice his life for him. Maybe Vegeta is the same. And I like how Krillin isn't 100% sure about that, and he doesn't quite agree with Goku. Can Vegeta really change? I'm not too sure. I kinda agree with Krillin. The look he gave them when he was leaving the Earth, my gosh, that was a look of absolutely coming back with a vengeance. The animation in this saga was also absolutely stunning. The art and animation just pop from the screen. I love it. The fights that happen in this saga are absolutely visceral, intense, and brutal, particularly the scenes of Vegeta and Goku battling one another. But with that out of the way, let's talk about the mixed aspect of this saga. I want to talk about Vegeta and Nappa. Nappa felt like a generic anime villain, and I do feel like some of these villains in this show inspired villains in the future for other animes, and I do feel like the whole Vegeta being this small tiny guy with immense amounts of power and charisma and presence versus the big Nappa who's pretty much weak and small compared to Vegeta. I feel like I've seen that in other shows. I think Seven Deadly Sins did that, but I think they were inspired by this show. But in my opinion, I think this is the best version of this duo trope. the big little guy and the little big guy. I found out that the famous "it's over 9,000" was actually a typo apparently. It was meant to be over 8,000 apparently. I'm a bit indifferent to all that. It is what it is. Yamcha also got defeated pretty damn early in this fight. Out of everyone, I thought that he would become one of the more powerful fighters, and he does become powerful, but he's defeated really quickly. And judging on the direction of the next arc, I do not think we're going to be seeing this boy for a long time. Same with Tien and Chatsu. But with that out of the way, let's talk about the negative. I'm not a big fan of Chi-Chi in this season. I find her really annoying. She's very overprotective of Gohan and very critical of Goku. When Gohan disappears, at first I get it. I get that this mother is worried for her child. And when that crystal ball lady comes in to show the guys what's happening to Gohan and the rest of the gang, Chi-Chi ends up cheering Gohan on, and I think, oh, finally she's starting to let Gohan be his own self. But the moment the battle is over, she babies him considerably. And I'm not a fan of her giving Goku the cold shoulder. I mean, this dude trained for over a year and he barely made it out alive, and you're giving him the cold shoulder? She berates Goku so much to the point that even the characters in the show start looking at her weirdly. I mean, even Yajirobe tells Goku that his wife is crazy. But honestly, that is the only thing I didn't like about this saga/season. Overall, the first season of Dragon Ball Z might be my favorite story arc of the Dragon Ball series to date. I like how intense, serious, and more mature this show has become compared to the first one, but it still retains that fun, adventure-esque vibe that was always apparent in the original Dragon Ball series. This saga gets a 10 out of 10 and an A star from me. I can't lie, I enjoyed nearly every episode of it. Even the fillers, dude. But can the other sagas live up to this saga? You got to find out next time. Tell me in the comments down below, what did you guys think of this? Did you like this saga or hate it? Like this video, subscribe for more Dragon Ball reviews, anime updates, reviews, and all that jazz. But thank you for watching, and as always, a boy dude review signing out.